a major diplomatic breakthrough in the Middle East. The hostages that have been held in captivity by Hamas, the terrorist organization, have all been freed, all surviving hostages, and this has been a pretty big victory for the international community at large and for the Trump administration in particular. President Trump, however, would like to see even more progress.
This is not only the end of a war, this is the end of an age of terror and death and the beginning of the age of faith and hope and of God. It's the start of a grand concord and lasting harmony for Israel and all the nations of what will soon be a truly magnificent region. I believe that so strongly. This is the historic dawn of a new Middle East.
This has been the biggest diplomatic victory of the second Trump term and possibly of his entire presidency. It certainly sets the stage for a substantial change in the Middle East. President Trump is already looking toward the next phase, the next stage of negotiations, which will deal with the future of Gaza, which he has promised that he may be open to visiting.
Would you ever visit Gaza?
I would, yeah, I would. I'd be proud to. I see it. I mean, I know it so well without visiting, but I do see it. Yeah, I would actually. I'd like to do it. I'd like to put my feet on it at least.
This becomes a really major factor in the future of American foreign policy because many administrations have wanted to pivot from the Middle East and have wanted to see a more peaceful Middle East. This has been a focus of multiple administrations for the past few decades. And that's why this is going to be very difficult. And it's this next phase that is going to be more challenging than ever because it deals with the political future of Gaza, who's going to be governing Gaza, the disarmament of Hamas, what happens to Hamas leaders, and then Israel's relations with its Arab neighbors, which was a major focus of President Trump during his first term in office. What we've seen so far is very promising, but obviously we've had a lot of disappointments diplomatically before. But even with the limited things that we've seen so far, Hamas saying that they're going to stop their campaign, releasing the hostages, Israel promising some sort of withdrawal from Gaza and the cessation of bombing and improvement of the humanitarian situation there. All of these things, even in and of themselves, as long as they hold, are a major historic accomplishment. And for that reason, the image of Secretary of State Marco Rubio interrupting President Trump in a meeting to tell him that all of these things were nearing fruition and that it was time to announce this on social media, this will be an iconic image that will go down in history alongside other similar events, such as when President Bush learned for the first time that the United States had been attacked on 9/11 when he was visiting a schoolhouse. And we have that image that is indelible and that we remember forever. Hopefully, this, given that it's much better news, will be an even more historically significant event. But there is so much more that's going to happen in terms of diplomacy, in terms of cooperation from Israel, Hamas, Iran, governments that are generally hostile to one another, and peoples that have historic grievances with one another that go back centuries. President Trump has positioned himself as a deal maker. His most famous book was titled The Art of the Deal. And in many respects, he has joked that this is sort of a real estate transaction. But to the people who live in these areas, it's obviously much more than that. And there's been so much blood and treasure spent in this region over the years. Can President Trump get this across the finish line? Will the peace hold? And will we see a new dawn of a new era in the Middle East? If you're following us on social media, comment down below and let us know what you think.